What's up, y'all, and welcome to today's episode of Forte Catholic. We hope that you guys had a very Merry Christmas day and are still enjoying the Christmas season. Liv and I recorded this one for you before Christmas, and we're releasing it here today as our final episode of the year. We hope that you guys enjoy it. If you do, please hit that subscribe button wherever you are listening or over on youtube.com/Forte Catholic. We got so much great stuff going on over there. So even if you are listening on the podcast and you haven't subscribed to YouTube yet, go ahead and do it. Enjoy today's episode with Liv Harrison and Tommy Tighe. What's up? Catholic. I am Taylor Stroll. That is Olivia Newton-John. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hi, friend. How are you?
I'm doing great. You know why I'm doing great?
No, why?
I haven't talked to you in like 3 weeks.
So you're all happy.
I'm so relaxed and everything's going so swell. And now you're back, and literally we were fighting within 4 seconds of when the Zoom meeting started.
Jeez. It was not a fight.
About stuff that literally doesn't matter. I was right. No, I was right.
We're just saying hi to each other. We were just getting back in the zone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I just posted a video as we're recording this. I posted it like on YouTube Shorts. It's essentially, if people don't know what it is, it's like TikTok or Instagram Reels, but on YouTube. And there was one posted yesterday. Like, I just don't understand algorithms. I just don't. Like, the stuff that I think is really, really good, like some of my best work, it's like, oh, here's 4 views, you know? And the stuff that I literally couldn't care about any less. I really couldn't care about it. It's like, oh, here's 4,000 views in the first hour. I'm like, what is this? Like, what is happening? And so I saw this strange pattern of stuff that, like, you know, the deep spiritual things or the really funny things get no love. But the top 3 videos, Olivia, that I've ever posted on YouTube are me and Allison Sullivan fighting and arguing.
Like, that's because she's just as feisty as you are. She can match you.
It might be the 3 times we've ever argued. Like, I think we've argued 4 times, and 3 of them have been on the show.
Argue? It's not just like whatever. It's like argue. Wow.
I think between the 3 of them, it's like the spectrum of argue. Like, one of them was really real, and then there was one that was kind of like half real and half a joke, and there was one that was mostly joking. But like,
okay,
yeah. So apparently that's what the people want. So
they
you
like
suck.
Drama.
I hate you.
I love it.
You're not fighting back. You can't say I love it. No one's gonna like this. We have to be angry at each other.
You're a jerk.
I am a jerk. You're right.
I say that every show. Like, see, but that's the thing. Then we laugh, and then people are like, they don't mean it, and we don't. We're fine.
You take a lot of it personally.
Taylor.
You have told me multiple times that you have cried after recording this show, and you know what? I don't care because it's made a good product.
It has been a long time. It's probably been a year. It's probably been a year since you've made me cry.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'm very glad.
Yeah.
Well, Olivia, you know what? Do you know what today is?
Winter solstice.
Nope.
I knew that wasn't it. That's why I said it.
It's more important than a winter solstice.
No idea. No clue. It's not your birthday. Is it your birthday?
Say that word. I feel like I was about to sneeze just by saying solstice. I did it. I'm making fun of you. No, is it my birthday? Thanks. You're a good friend. You suck. I hate you. No, today is the last show of 2021.
Yay!
I mean, it's our New Year's show. I mean, I know it doesn't fall on New Year's, but it's on the 29th, but people listen late. So if you could be listening to this in 2021, and, you know, for that, we just want to say this is our last show of 2021. If you're listening to this later, how's the future? Please let us know.
Happy New Year. Right. Tell us, like in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, hop in a telephone booth. Let us know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, around this time, earlier this year, some big things happened the first week of January. So we're hoping for a calmer start to 2022 this year.
All the way around. The last couple of years have been not okay.
Right.
So
I saw this thing earlier. I saw this thing has been kind of going around on Instagram is where I've been seeing it, but it was like semi-superstitious or whatever, but I think it's more funny than anything. But it's like no one can claim that 2022 is going to be your year because the 2 most prominent times that I ever saw that was going into 2020 and going into 2021. So no tempt fate. No one claim that 2022 is your year.
No one move. Don't blink. It's like a shark, or I don't know. If it responds to movement, isn't that what sharks do? I don't.
Sure. Yeah. So what I need you to do, Liv, is if you're ever in the ocean, what I need you to do to stay safe from a shark
Move
is
a lot.
to flail as much as you can
They're
and
the
like
worst.
punch yourself in the nose so that your nose will start bleeding. They are
Bleeding?
terrified of blood.
Of blood? They don't like it?
They will just run away. They'll just
They'll
run
be
away.
scared.
That's what I need you to do. Everyone else do
Great.
the opposite of what I said, but you specifically. I don't want to get sued, but you specifically, Olivia.
We're hoping this one goes viral. We hope
Right,
this is
yeah.
the clip.
You suck!
Liv, make yourself bleed in front of a shark.
All right, we're gonna do something very like youth ministry, right? Like
Ooh.
I've worked in youth ministry for the last decade. You helped invent
Forever.
youth ministry back in the day, so
Yeah. Original
um,
apostle. Yeah, go ahead.
you have done. They didn't allow women. What's wrong with you?
I'm glad you caught on.
Yeah.
That was what negated what I said.
There was one woman that was around Jesus a lot that I think you have a lot of similarities with, and I won't say which one.
Both have really long brown hair.
Sure. So what I would like to do is the
Yeah.
typical youth ministry game, and I haven't prepped you for this at all, and I honestly haven't prepped myself for this at all. So we'll see how it goes. Have you ever done? I'm sure you've done 2 roses and a thorn.
Yes.
Okay, so 2 roses, like 2 great things that happened in 2021, and then 1 thorn, like one thing that it's like not so good, very bad, or just a thorn in your side, kind of annoying. No, I can't be your thorn.
No, can I?
She was raising her hand.
No, I was going to tell you, somebody added actually 2 days ago, and then they go 2 roses of thorn and a sideways, meaning something weird that happened. I thought that was kind of interesting, but no, you don't want to. We don't want to do that. Okay, great.
I wish I had a flower because I would hold it up and I would ask you to point
Or
to
twist.
the sideways.
A twist. You could say a twist.
Where is the sideways on this flower? Flower, where did the sideways touch you
Like
on
one
this?
yellow petal, and the rest of the flower is red.
No, we're not doing
All right,
that.
fine.
That's-
I thought it
that's
was cool.
stupid. No, it's
Never
very
mind.
dumb.
Great.
Whoever said it is an idiot, and I hope that you hear this. I don't know who it is.
When I tell you later, you'll feel really bad.
I hate that person. I want to fight them
You
on
need
the
to
show.
stop.
On
You
the
need to
show, so
stop.
that it will go viral.
You need to stop.
Okay.
Go ahead. I'm not going to ruin this for you. Go ahead.
2 roses and a thorn.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to find out who I hate.
You're so
2
really
roses and
bad.
a thorn.
Yeah.
1 rose that happened recently. And it's kind
Mm-hmm.
of a weird rose because it happened in 2021, but it is planning for 2022. So it is a little fishy on that whole, like, don't claim 2022 as your year, but it happened recently. Everybody knows that's been listening to the show that, like, when, like, a big way that I have made money and provided for my family was traveling and doing events. Like, that's one of the biggest ways that I, feed the children that are very quiet in the other room right now. And that all got canceled whenever 2020 happened. And then it was really slow this year. But I got a call last week that I just booked like one of the biggest gigs that I've ever spoken at. It's at, I don't want to say, I'm waiting for the signed contract, so I won't say exactly what it
okay.
is.
Okay.
But it is the largest parish in a certain state. And I've never
great.
done a parish mission before. I've wanted to do a parish mission for years.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm doing a parish mission, so it might be it's going to be close to largest group of people I've ever spoken in front of, and it is the largest contract I've ever signed. So
Good.
I'm incredibly excited about this, and it is just like it was just kind of a nod from God because it came out of nowhere. Like I don't know how this person found me. I really don't.
Really?
I really
So it's
don't
not
know
like you
how they found me.
applied or like you had feelers put out. Like they contacted you.
Yeah, they called me because
I love
their person lives somewhere where just got locked down, so they can't leave. Like they had somebody else booked because it's in 2 months, and they were like, "Can you come like on short notice?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, they must have called 80 other people that couldn't come on short notice and got to me, but I'm really excited.
That is not true. You deserve it. You're an incredible speaker. I'm happy for you. That's really
I hate
great.
you. You suck.
Right. You're a jerk.
You're a jerk. So I'm happy about it. And like for me, it's not just like that specific thing. It just brought me a lot of hope that kind of stuff is going to start happening again, because that stuff was happening a lot before the pandemic, and I'm really happy. So that was my first rose. What's your? You can start however you want, rose or thorn, but not sideways. That's stupid.
I would have to say one of the roses of this year is the surgeries I endured. Like the way that it's impacted my life. Obviously surgery is kind of, both pros and cons, right? Because you're whatever from surgery, but it was a big deal in my life and something I've worked for years. And so the fact that I started this process, I had 19 hours of surgery this year, and it's pretty significant changes. So that's pretty cool. I have to say that happened in this year is a good thing.
My my thorn is, I've talked about it on the show a lot. I think I talked about it last week actually. Like this year was hard when it came to like relationships. Um, I had to end a lot of them, and like that's hard for me. Like I knew it was the right choice, but like I think about it still just about every day. And like when I was first essentially breaking up, like I felt like breaking up with friends and people that I have worked with and people that I've had relationships with a long time. I decided to cut them off because it was what was healthy for me. I just couldn't deal with the negativity and the crap anymore. Like I just couldn't, right? But it was still hard. Like it's one of those things that like my life is much healthier now that those people are not in my life, but I still think about it and still like less and less and less as time has gone by. But like the summer was kind of a big spot for that. So it's just been kind of tough. And it's one of those things that like it has made me wonder a lot. Like I know what these people have done is wrong, but at the same time, it's like, am I screwed up? Because it seemed to all happen at the same time. Like I was like, does everybody hate me? Because everybody seems to be not having a good relationship with me right now. And I'm like, I'm the common denominator, but that dude's a jerk, So I don't know. It just kind of brought up a lot of feelings.
I hear you. No, I absolutely hear you. And no, it's not because of you. But
it might be.
No, there's a reason why you have these people in your life, though. But we can talk about that off camera. But why you attract them. But yeah,
why I attract bad people?
Yeah, for real.
I'm that attractive that I attract bad people.
No, but you don't realize that they're not healthy because all you know is that chaos and that trauma bond with someone. So to you, that seems like normal. So you'll end up in these relationships with people and then come to find out that's not at all true. Like they weren't good people to begin with, but you don't recognize the signs and the things. So that's why you have like a wake of people behind. Does that make sense? Because
what you are saying, Olivia, is very dangerous.
Why?
Because you just said that people that bring chaos into my life aren't good, and you're like number 2.
You've decided why I bring chaos into your life. It's not a manipulative, malicious way. I'm just too much for you, Taylor, but I'm too much for everybody. That doesn't count.
That doesn't count. Yeah.
No, that doesn't count. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about annoying people to you, Taylor. We're talking about people that are harmful. But for me, and kind of in the same vein as you, the thorn for me, I got pretty hurt by some people this year, and it was bad. And very few people know about it. And specifically, it happened this fall. And it was pretty awful, like things I've never had to deal with before, like for my physical safety. So that was kind of a crazy place to be in at the age I'm at and like in the space of life to be in multiple situations where I was like, I'm not in a safe space and I don't know if I'm going to make it out of this thing. That was scary. And that happened while I was traveling. So that was good. That's a thorn. That definitely was a thorn for the year.
It's definitely not helpful for you to have to deal with all this stress, like so close to your impending death. I mean, it's just really, really sad in your old age to have to deal with all of this.
Right. I wanted to go peacefully.
Right. Now let your servant go in peace. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. You have another rose?
I mean, I do. It's one of the things I wish I would have prepped for this more, but so it's probably not my actual rose. Axl Rose.
Nice.
You suck. I hate you.
You're the worst.
You're the worst. I don't know. Like doing this show brings me a lot of joy. And like it's been a year that has been good for the show. Like the show got hit by the pandemic too. Like a lot of people just stopped commuting and listening, and like we had our best month ever in like November, and doing this so being around the show, like interacting with like the community of the show. Like I've gotten so many like just DMs or people tweeting like quotes and stuff from the show where it's like, I don't remember saying that, but I guess I did, or stuff like that. And it's just been fun because like we had the least guests that we've ever had on the show this year. and I just couldn't deal with it. But it's so much fun for me to just talk to the four of you guys, like you, Allison, John, Father Anthony. Like it's just been a good year with the five of us. So yeah, the show, the community around it just brings me a lot of joy.
Oh, I love that. Yeah,
that's my second thorn. No, I'm just kidding.
The rose would be if Liv wasn't one of the guests. I mean, one of the co-hosts.
Oh, careful.
Am I getting my you're going to exterminate me? Is that what do I say?
Your contract is up at the end of 2021. We haven't renewed it, so you're on thin ice is all I'll say.
Nice. Okay, my other rose would have to be, and just to say it again, generally, it would be about the formation of my media company this year. Never saw that coming. I'm now president of my own media company with 3 shows. And one of them is not Catholic, and I'm so thrilled. And it pays. It's a paying gig. And the way that I got it is
there
really
might
cool.
be a correlation there.
So I'm excited. I'm excited about to see what comes of all this, because it kind of all happened at the end of this year, to see how that all goes into 2022. But that's definitely been a rose with what I'm doing with my life. And Taylor's my new producer. Yay.
Oh, your life has improved so much since I
That's true.
launched into the scene. So
That is true. I wanted to work with you from the beginning, so that has been such a blessing. I'm really glad that we're doing
I played
that
hard
together.
to get because I'm cute.
Kept showing me ankle, and that was it.
Yeah, for real. It's the only part of my body that still looks good. So,
Your beard's nice.
We hope that you guys. I mean, this whole show, we hope that you have a very happy New Year's Eve, and that as we look into the next year, that it'll be good for you guys. To help do that, we are bringing in, we just talked about not having guests, but this guest I've had on before, and he is a delight. Tommy Tighe is back, you guys, and we're going to be talking about mental health as we close out this year and begin a new one. And then whenever Liv and I come back, we're going to be talking, let's just say it's going to have something to do with Olivia and I's age difference. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Select International is helping people plan trips to the next World Youth Day. Over 2 million Catholic youth and young adults from all over the world will be there, and Select wants to help get you, your parish, your diocese there. It's happening from August 1st through the 6th, 2023 in Lisbon, Portugal. The Holy Father will be in attendance, of course, and Select has helped organize parish diocesan trips for the last 4 World Youth Day events, and it is looking to help those parishes and dioceses do the same for this next one. There's a lot of additional places that if you would like to tack on to the trip as well that they can help with, like Lourdes, Rome, and so many more. So head on over to fortecatholic.com/tours to check it out. Share it with your diocesan leaders, your parish leaders, your priest, to see if they would like to take a group to World Youth Day and want to make it easy as possible using the best in Catholic pilgrimages at Select International Tours. Do it now. fortecatholic.com/tours. Welcome back to Forte Catholic. I am Taylor Schroed. Olivia is laughing for no reason. Maybe she's crazy. Well, good thing we have a professional here on the line with us. Tommy Tighe is coming back to the show. It's been quite some time. Tommy, welcome back, man.
It's good to be back. And last time I think I was on my commute home from work, so this is a lot better. Being
yeah, for sure. You have. I didn't even realize. I was so focused on. We're going to talk about your book, but I was so focused on the book in your background that I missed all the tools. Like, where are you? You are surrounded by tools. What is going on?
Well, usually I sit in my van, but I knew you'd be recording video, so I tried to lighten it up a little bit. So this is just the garage. This is a garage.
Saws seem way more appropriate to talk to Taylor. I agree with you. Sharp objects.
See, Liv with the scary movie route. I think, Tommy, this might be the manliest you ever looked. Not that you're not a manly guy, but I mean, you look incredibly manly right now. You're like, I've written these 2 books, and I can also saw things in half. Know. So,
just Tim Allen look.
Yeah.
Just Tim Allen.
I'm glad it's
Exactly.
working. I'm glad it's working.
Well, Tommy, the last time you came on was the Catholic hipster handbook, which I'm not hip at all, so I had nothing to do with other than getting to talk to you about it. But you've written a new book, kind of ironic. It came out of a podcast, right? So Saint Dymphna's Playbook. I've got it right here. A Catholic Guide to Finding Mental and Emotional Well-Being. And I wanted to have Liv on for this one because she needs these things. This is really just a way for Liv to get a free counseling session. I roped you in. If I understand, like with ethics-wise, like if you need me to send you some money after this because of the counseling session, I
thought you were going to offer to like bow out ethics-wise, so there wasn't like an observer. But okay, money works too.
No.
Deal with Taylor. That's what this is about.
It's
Taylor doesn't
couples
want an
counseling.
HR
That's
problem.
good. Yeah.
So this is his way of saying, look, I handled it.
Members of the jury, I tried.
Exactly. That's what this is his defense. That's what this is.
So I got this book, Tommy, and I've listened to some of the episodes of the podcast, and I've shared with people who have listened to this show for a while that like mental health was never really a thing on my radar. Like I've always been a generally pretty happy person. Like things seemed to go well, and then the pandemic hit, and I lost everything, and I like wasn't prepared to deal with the depression and anxiety because I had never dealt with it before. So here I was as a 30-year-old dealing with these things for the first time. And then I got this book, a couple of months ago, and it's like, I mean, it's been almost 2 years since the pandemic started, and like, I'm doing better, but people are still dealing with this. Like it's still affecting us. So I love that what you've done is you've taken, like, people know you like on the internet as a faith person. And then professionally, you've been a counselor for your professional life. And like, even like in the book, like you are combining your actual expertise in counseling and people's mental health and well-being with your faith, right? Because like we get a lot of books of people of faith trying to, just pray more and everything will be fine. And then we get a lot of clinical books that God knows I've never read of like, this is how you take care of your mental health. But this is the most inviting one for me because it combines the two of them. So you were the one that was able to do this. Like what made you want to write this book now?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I guess when you write a book, I wrote this book like 4 years ago. That's kind of how it works. So it just sort of happened that everybody's going through such a difficult time that
you're
hope
a
it helps
prophet.
people. But...
You saw the pandemic coming, and you're
hardly,
like, people are going to need
so,
this.
yeah.
Pandemic trauma.
Oh gosh. But I was on Father Anthony and Father Harrison's podcast a long time ago, a couple years ago, and they were talking about anxiety and things like that. I know you know Father Anthony very well, obviously. So.
I mean, I've met him once or twice.
Couple times, yeah.
He's okay.
And so yeah, we started talking about things, and it just sort of naturally came out of that to start a podcast to see if anybody was interested in submitting questions, and it turned out they were, so that was kind of cool. And then the faith thing, I mean, it came just from my own experience in life, and also the idea of the saints, right? So like we have such a strong attachment to the saints, but we really put our saints on such a high pedestal that everything kind of goes fine for them, right? Like, like Dorothy Day, her canonization process is getting going. Like she gave up everything, lived in poverty, helped these people all her life, and then died, and it was perfect. And her life was much more difficult than that, right? She had lots of issues, depression, irritability that everyone would complain about. She tried to commit suicide, like all of these really things that we should all know about, because when our lives are touched with those things, we need that connection to the saints. And I think our faith gives us that. So, trying to really not use the faith as a, you just do this and you'll feel better, but as a way to like have someone walking with us like through life when we're struggling, I think is the most important thing. Yeah.
That you're not alone, that you're not the only one. Because I think that's
certainly
a big thing the enemy likes to get into your brain. Like, oh, you're the first person to ever want to, do this to yourself, harm yourself, or do whatever. And that's not true. Yeah.
Surely. Yeah. And I think also it's, nobody can understand what I'm going through,
right?
Or what I'm going through is worse than what other people have gone through. And
I'm
even if I share, right, that whole thing, right, it's some sort of weakness or personal failing. And so I think if we can see that, St. Oscar Romero, St. Teresa of Lisieux, like all of these people have dealt with these things, and we look up to them as really models of Christian perfection, right? Then we can see that maybe we're not broken after all.
And still lovable.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah.
that we still can have forgiveness.
Perhaps not by ourselves, but other people. Yeah.
Yeah.
We love you, Liv. It might be conditional, but we love you, okay?
From Taylor, it is definitely conditional. He's conditioned me to know that.
Yeah, on
Unlike
whether
Pavlov's dog.
on whether that invoice comes in every month. Literally, like in the even in the chapter headings, you see the combination between your expertise and faith, literally from the first chapter. Because I read the first chapter and I was
That's
like,
usually how interviews go about books. Yeah.
I know it does, but I literally was like, I don't even know what this word means.
Oh, how exciting!
So, anhedonia.
That's
What
right.
what the heck is that?
It's actually it's one of the more dangerous symptoms of depression, really, because it's sort of like no longer finding pleasure in the things that we used to find pleasurable, right? And I think we don't think about that because a lot of times when we're doing well, things are okay, right? Like maybe I go down the street, take my kids to In-N-Out, because this is a Texas podcast, right? So I'm going to talk about In-N-Out to kind of rep the West Coast. But
Hey, In-N-Out's fine. It's perfectly fine.
just that's right. But digging
not
into a
as good as
cheeseburger, like well. Where's disconnect? I don't know. There it is. But something as simple as eating a cheeseburger, right? Like, and sorry for our vegan and vegetarian friends out there, but like eating a cheeseburger brings pleasure to me. I feel pleasure from that. Playing with my kids, some crazy imaginative game, most of the time, brings pleasure to me. Like these little things that we don't think about, the simplest things, right? And when we're feeling depressed, we don't have that anymore. We don't. It's like everything tastes bland. Every experience is sort of just nothingness to us. And I think that that's worse than the feeling where we're just crying all the time and sad all the time, because that's like this deprivation of any goodness that we need. We need those things to sort of keep thriving and keep going on. So anhedonia is sort of like when somebody might say, I just don't find any joy in doing the things that I used to, like taking the dog for a walk or getting a project done at work, or all of these things. It doesn't bring me joy anymore, and that's really dangerous, because it starts to feel really hopeless when you're going through that kind of thing. I hope that helps with the definition.
Major sign. I think that's fantastic.
Taylor
has never had pleasure with doing a show with me, so he would think that he's in depression all the time.
Right. That's going to be your new nickname. We've been calling you Olivia Newton-John, but now it's just Anhedonia. Mrs. Anhedonia.
Anhedonia would be a great fake name. That's a good one.
That is a cool name. That'd be like a sick album.
Now welcoming to the stage, Anhedonia.
No one's cheering. Everyone's just like,
The joke works if you really think about it.
Very
So
lethargic.
I did learn something today, and I learned the definition of how I felt at the beginning of the pandemic. Now I have a word to describe how I felt then. But like the combinations: fatigue, Lord, the one that you love is tired; hopelessness, Lord, the one that you love doesn't want to go on; anxiety, Lord, the one that you love is worrying. So all of these. I mean, we've been talking about this whole time, like all of these professional words and things that people really deal with, and combining it with like a prayer, like God, this is what I'm feeling. So I know that Liv has a couple, but I wanted to start with we started accidentally with anhedonia just because I didn't know what the word meant.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. No, I brought it up. I was the idiot, and I wanted to learn something, and I did. I can learn and grow despite what everyone in the comments says. So, speaking of the comments, chapter 2, irritability. Lord, the one that you love is annoyed with everything. This one is especially poignant because I love my family. I love my kids. They are tremendous. We are recording this while they are on Christmas break. I love them. I just don't love them here when I'm working because I work at home. And the amount of little things that drive me insane, Tommy. Just a kid quietly. Repetitive things drives me nuts. If they're just like, and I'm just in here just like, shut up! Like I'm going wild. We had we were going to church this past Sunday, and they were just all just repeating themselves, yelling, hitting things, and like literally I just yelled from this room to the other room, which is pretty far away. It's like, everyone quiet for the next 4 minutes until we leave. And they were all very quiet, and I was able to calm down.
Top-notch parenting.
Yeah, yelling at them. They're
Nothing damaging about that.
I am teaching them the fear of the Lord. Their first experience of that is through their father. But like, it was really funny because like I was very happy that they're quiet. But my son, the 8-year-old, the oldest, literally as we were about to cross the threshold going outside, he goes, meep. And I laughed because it was just hilarious because I knew that I was like on edge and I was irritable. So yeah, how am I supposed to deal with this irritability?
Boy, I wish I could
Pray it
answer that
away.
question.
Yeah.
Say a rosary.
Because we're also on Christmas break here, and absolutely everything is making me irritable.
I'm
even
not alone.
Nice, kind things, or just playing gently. My brain goes, something bad's going to happen any minute, and I'm already irritated by it. So I think the pandemic is an important thing to look at here, because when we're stressed and we're worried and we don't have all the information we need, we start to have like a decrease in our ability to tolerate frustration. So things that wouldn't bother us when we're doing okay really can get on our nerves really easily. And it's good to recognize that, right? It's good to be able to take stock. You already know that you do it, so that's a good first step. Now you just need to know how to fix it. That's the next thing, right?
Yes, please fix him.
Liv knows very well that I'm very aware of my faults and do nothing about them. So
It's the worst. It's such gaslighting. It's like such a tease.
So, I mean, the best things to do, I think there's a couple things that come to mind right off the top of my head. One is to take an inventory of sort of what's causing you irritation, right? It's very easy for us to say, oh yeah, we can figure that out like mentally, but it's not very helpful for us. It's really better to get out a piece of paper and a pencil and start writing stuff down. Because sometimes we could think, God, I'm just irritable. I just woke up and I'm irritable, but that's not really what happens. Like there's things that kind of happen. We can think about our thoughts, or, I dropped the coffee grounds and then I had to clean it up and then this happened. And it's like we can see the things start to build. And that helps us to be able to figure out where to interject like a coping skill. To take a time out probably is the best coping skill for us parents, I think, to be like, I have to go sit in my room for 5 minutes just to like kind of chill out, right? So that's one thing. You got to figure out how it's building up and when to kind of step in and say something. Actually, I'm really bad at doing that. So I trust my wife to say, hey, you need to go like take a break, because I don't even notice it. I'm just reacting.
You go away?
Right? Right. Yeah, totally. But it's like, we need those people in our lives who we love and trust to be able to be like, something's not working for you right now. You need to go take a break. Right. And to be like, okay. Because my first thing is like, I'm doing fine. Like, I don't know what the heck you're talking about. But you have to trust them. Right. I'm just totally pleasant. The other thing that's so important is trying to be mindful of the present moment. This is something that we fail at, or I fail at every single day. I let like what's happening just take me to the next level of things. Like if A happens, then B is going to happen, then C is going to happen. And I'm just angry about things that haven't even happened yet. So it's very important to kind of allow ourselves to use our senses to place ourselves in the moment, looking around, feeling the chair on our body, like smelling, what do I smell? These kinds of things, I think, to be able to get out of our brain and get into the present moment and realize that our kids doing repetitive things is annoying. It's not that bad, but we need some perspective to be able to do that, I think.
The irony of what just happened, Tommy. I'm going to have to go back and listen to the middle.
Did somebody just scream in the background?
Yeah, my kids are being real loud and they know the rules. So I just texted my wife, would you shut them up, please? I'm trying to work. So I'm going to have to go back and listen to the middle of your answer, because I was dealing with literally the problem as you were answering. I'll listen to it.
Stop listening.
I'll listen to it in editing. It's fine.
It's good.
Olivia, I know that you've dealt with everything in every single chapter,
book.
but you've got a favorite. You've got a favorite.
I do have a favorite. The chapter on manipulative people has become a huge piece in my life. I know Tommy doesn't know me at all, but Tommy, I used to weigh over 458 pounds. I've lost over 300 pounds, and I was diagnosed with extremely severe anxiety by someone at MD Anderson here in Houston. And so I underwent neurofeedback therapy, which I'm still doing for severe depression. So I was in bed for 3 years, actually. Couldn't leave the bed. And so I talk a lot about, I'm a type 2 diabetic. I talk a lot about the things I've overcome physically and mentally. And I try to bring a very honest discussion to it, which Taylor loves, and my degrees in human development, which is not the same as psychology, but it definitely
There's a real professional here. You don't have to just give all your credentials. You can just ask the question. It's fine.
Well, you make me sound like I just read memes all day, Taylor. Like he makes it sound like I have bazooka bubble gum, and I'm like, oh, this must be what it is. So anyway, it wasn't until this year actually. 2020 brought up a lot of manipulation. It's really started in 2019 and wasn't until 2020 that really came to light. But in 2021, at the beginning of this year, everything just kind of exploded in my life. It's like going into the Matrix. I feel like I just got into the Matrix and I can see things very differently. specifically cluster B personality disorders that are in my life. So manipulative people, that's something that I'm very much interested in. I'm trying to get the word out to people. And I say all the time, it's not to label. It's not to be like, let's put these people in a box. It's more of, I give the example, if you have a cold, you go to urgent care and it's really strep throat. Well, now you know to take an antibiotic. Like now you know what to do. So that's what I'm trying to do with the public on my little teeny tiny unprofessional platform. I say it right here, Taylor. I am not a doctor.
Yeah. Okay, wrap it up. Ask the professional a question. We are running out of time, and I want Tommy to talk.
People the concept of what to look for. So, what does that look like in a faith situation?
Yeah, super important. And also, congratulations on just reaching out for help. That's so cool and just so powerful to see people. To have people be able to see you and listen to you and hear what you've gone through, I think it's really helpful for people to know that they should reach out for help too. So anyway, but yeah, it's.
I liked what he said.
There's a difficult balance, right, between there's a lot of diagnoses, especially you mentioned cluster B personality disorders, that are very stigmatized in our culture. Right. And so when somebody hears those diagnoses, like borderline personality disorder is a good example, people are terrified to think that might be what they're going through because they've heard, or people say it, right? Like, oh, you're so borderline, or some like derogatory thing that doesn't even make sense. So people are scared of it. But you're right that learning about this diagnosis and learning about what treatments are available, why it happens to you. If it's presented in a way that's like helpful with a good helping professional, I think it's very freeing. A lot of times when somebody's very resistant to this, like, somebody comes in and they start talking about it saying, I was abandoned by people who shouldn't have abandoned me when I was younger. And now I'm in these relationships that like we're madly in love. Then we've broken up. Then I do this behavior that seems extreme to try and get this person back. And it just replays over and over again. What I do sometimes is I just take the diagnostics, the DSM that has a diagnosis, and I just turn it around and I say, read this and tell me what you think about this. And a lot of times, more often than not, when people read through the symptoms, they really get this, like, they get tears in their eyes and they start to say, oh, wow, like I thought something was wrong with me. I thought I was doing something wrong. And then we can talk about how no one has a personality disorder because of something that they did. Nobody chooses to have this experience. Nobody would choose to have this experience, right? But especially with these specific disorders, it's like people who you should have been able to count on, you weren't able to. And that scars us in really profound ways. So I think it's important. I think what you're doing is great because I think it does help people to feel, there's just something about, like you said, you're like, oh, wow, now I get it. Now it makes sense. Now I don't feel alone. And the next step is there's treatment for this because so many people go through it and it's going to be okay. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be okay and we can get through it together. So I think that's very important. And in terms of the faith, it's important to realize that we can't over spiritualize our mental health, because a lot of times, like we would say, I can see a Catholic person saying, oh, you're having these difficult relationships. Well, maybe you should start praying the rosary or asking St. Joseph to help you, which is obviously wonderful. Yes, they can help you. God can perform miracles. He can snap his fingers and everything's perfect, but that's not how it works 99.9% of the time, right?
Right.
God brings people into our lives to help us. And that's kind of the point that I want people to realize. Like, the answer to your prayers is not that you wake up and you don't have borderline personality disorder anymore. It's that you have a friend who will still stick by you, who can connect you to a therapist, who can help you. Like, that's the miracle. And God's kind of being like, why aren't these people taking these opportunities I'm putting in their life? So anyway, I hope that makes sense. But keep on doing what you're doing. That's wonderful.
I love it.
Liv, I am your friend, and I have connected you to a therapist. You're welcome. I have done it. I have accomplished it.
I'm not the borderline one,
Taylor. You're borderline lots of things, but that's a whole other ordeal. I've got the book here. If you want to see the large version, just look behind Tommy. St. Dymphna's Playbook. You can buy it wherever fine books are sold. But what is the primary place that you want them to buy it from, Tommy?
Probably Ave Maria Press's website, or if you have a local Catholic bookstore, that's cool. And if you have to get it from one of those other places I won't mention, I won't blame you for it. I know it's easier, but try to go to the source.
Yeah. Both spiritually and in your book buying. I love it. It tackles depression, anxiety, trauma, relationships, grief, and everything under those categories. Tommy, I love you. I'm glad that you were able to come back. Thanks for writing this. I'm loving this. Like, you used to do the Catholic Hipster Show, and then this is great. Like, I think you've really found your niche here, and I'm really happy for you, and happy on behalf of the people listening for what you are doing. How can people connect with you, Tommy.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for letting me escape the 4 screaming kids in my room for a half hour. That was very nice. People can go on Twitter. I'm at the GH is silent. So that's probably the best place. All the links are there. You can check it out.
Cool.
And Tommy, I'm not a professional of mental help, but I this is just as this the dumbest person in the room speaking. If you, as a husband and father, would like to just go out into your garage, I offer 2 things. 1, just permission to do it. If you just want to go sit in front of your tools, you are welcome to at any point. And number 2, if that feels weird, you need an excuse, we can just hop on and talk. You know, I can be excused to go sit in front of your tools.
That's wonderful. Yeah, because my wife would never buy I'm going out to the garage to work with my tools. She knows me too well. She knows that wouldn't happen.
I'm going to talk to a tool. His name is Taylor Stroll.
So. We're just sitting with the tools. We're not touching the tools.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
All right, Tommy, thanks so much. We're going to let you go. And Liv, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Online dating is the new normal. It is here. It's now equal, or in some cases, a more prominent way that couples of all ages and backgrounds are now dating. Catholic Match has faith-focused dating. You can start a relationship knowing that you already share the same faith, which is one of, if not the most important thing in a relationship. It's the largest dating app for single Catholics, and unlike other dating websites that encourage casual relationships, Catholic Match primarily strives to help singles connect for the purpose of eventually having a sacramental marriage. Catholic Match also provides a community where Catholics can share their challenges of living life in a single state and making new friends. These days, it is harder than ever for single Catholics to meet each other, and Catholic Match is here to support all of you. So sign up today for a free account by just going to the Catholic Match app on your phone or going to fortecatholic.com/Catholic Match. And you can, get started. I mean, it's a new year, new you. Find you a new boo. That is what I'm going with. I just made that up, and I love it. I recently did an Instagram takeover for Catholic Match. Shared some of my tips for dating with one of my friends, Clarissa Christensen, who is herself a single Catholic and a professional counselor. You can find the video of our Instagram live right now on youtube.com/Forte Catholic. Go sign up for Catholic Match today, unless you are a religious or married already or engaged, because that would be super awkward. If you're single, go check it out. Welcome back to Forte Catholic. I am Taylor Stroll, and that is... Wait, what's your new name? I forgot already.
Oh, yeah.
Your new name is Anadonia. Mrs. Anadonia Harrison. That sounds great. That's an awesome name.
It's a really cool name. Like, it's not bad. Like, you can pull it off.
Gal Gadot would play a girl named Anadonia.
I prefer Princess Anadonia.
Moving on. Okay. So, now you're not going to get called princess. You're going to get called old.
Andy's going to draw it. Andy's going to draw me as Princess Anadonia.
Oh, I have notes about the qualities and characteristics of Mrs. Anadonia. So, I found these 2 articles, ironically enough, last night at like 2 a.m. while I was scrolling through social media because of Anadonia. So
me specifically.
Just mentally preparing for this. There was this article, and it said the 66 best invention of the past 66 years. Now, what does that have to do with us? What the post said was like, find the one from your birth year, like the most important invention from your birth year. So what I wanted to do with you is find the most important invention from your birth year, which like but for me, it's like, when you're born, like you don't remember, So we're going to do birth year. We're going to follow the instructions, but then I want to do the year that you graduated high school and either the year that you graduated college or got married. Is that the same year for you? It's the same year for me.
Same for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So year you graduated college / got married. So that's what we're going to do.
Or when you had a baby. It could be your first kid.
Nope.
I
make the rules here. Okay.
I was just trying to make more space for me. That's all.
Nope.
I did things really young.
Okay.
Great.
So born, college, and first baby were all within the first 6 years. Okay. So what I need from you is your birth year, Olivia Anadonia Harrison.
1977.
Okay, I gotta scroll all the way back.
Star Wars came out. All
the way back. 1977. What was a better invention than Olivia? Okay, here we go.
George Lucas.
Oh my gosh, this is cool.
Okay.
Yours is cool.
Okay.
1977. It is a picture of the Apple first personal computer.
Hey, like an Apple IIc or just an Apple PC. What do they call it?
It says the Apple II, the Commodore PET, and Radio Shack's TRS-80 are introduced in 1977, 4 years before IBM, soon to become synonymous with the term PC, unveils its personal computer.
You're welcome. There you go. We use it every day.
Yeah, but say so. Like this
cool.
one's obvious, but one of the questions I was going to ask for all 3 of these years for the 2 of us is like, do you think that these have had an impact on your life? Like this one, obviously.
Yes, I literally use it all the time. I bet I'll tell you this. Maybe this is more interesting. I remember when we got an Apple IIc. Like I remember getting one, and that was a big deal to be a home that had a personal computer. You know what I mean? Like I remember that when my parents gave it to us.
What was, like, do you have a first memory, like, of using a personal computer?
Oh, yeah, totally. Well, we had floppy disks, so the big old floppy disk that you had to, feed
young
into.
people, that's the save icon or the save emoji. That's what that is.
That's right. That's right. But it was an actual thing, and it was like this big, and you had to like whatever. And we played games on it. Like that was a big deal. Like, and it was like, it wasn't as pixelated as like an Atari, but there were different games that we would play. And I remember Sticky Bear was a program where you could do graphics and fonts. So I would like make like a newsletter, like that kind of a thing. Like, so that was the beginning of all that kind of stuff, which is funny because now we have Canva, now we have like all these other things, but it started with Sticky Bear. So
it all began with Sticky Bear. We have all of our personal computers to thank Sticky
and the
Bear
printing, Taylor, the printing had the, the holes on the side of the paper. Like your printer.
I forgot about that.
Right. And you had to fold it and tear off the little holes.
Yeah. Why did they do that? Like what was the functionality
of that? Feed it. That's how they could feed it through the computer. That was the first printer or whatever. So we had reams of that, dotted, the whole paper that we just, and then I loved peeling it off. It's like when you did those national exams in school and you had to open up the little packages, like with your eraser. I don't know if you remember that, but like, I love that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's also, I remember that came with the Apple IIc situation.
I remember getting like a 64 on a test that I took the Scantron, just marked C on all of them.
Oh, I miss Scantron.
I did better than if I would have tried. Okay, the next year, I mean, I don't think I existed by the time you were in high school. What was your high school graduation?
I graduated in 95.
Okay, then my birth is next on the timeline. I wasn't sure. So my birth is next on the timeline, which is crazy to me. 1989.
I babysat you.
Yeah, you could have. Mine, my first, one of these is stupid for me. I can't remember which one, but this one is also important.
Okay.
Do you remember this thing being invented called the World Wide Web?
Well, yeah, because Al, what's his face did it? The vice president.
No, he didn't. In 1989, Sir Tim Berners-Lee creates hypertext markup language, HTML, to make web pages and the Uniform Resource Locator, URL, to identify where information is stored. These breakthroughs form the foundation of the World Wide Web. And now, like, most of my life exists on the World Wide Web. So I
your
like
whole life.
Just like yours, like the personal computer and this one. Like, I mean, 2 really impactful things in our lives and in society. So you're welcome for us being born.
Exactly.
I mean, we just celebrated Jesus being born, but when Jesus was born, like, were personal computers and the World Wide Web a thing? No, they weren't. So.
But here's the thing that is the best part about you reading that. Now I know what all that stuff, we say URL all the time. Does one human being on the planet know what the heck URL stands for?
Obviously, it's Uniform Resource Locator, he said, staring at his phone.
Exactly. Or any of those things. We say them all the time. We have no idea why. You know what I mean? Like, I have no clue. Like, I don't know. So that would be interesting one day to like get all the shortcut things that we say technology wise that we just say all the time and none of us know what the heck we're saying.
That is one of the things that like I have noticed about me is like, because I was born and grew up like with computers and phones and internet and all that stuff, like I'm really intuitive with all this stuff. Like I can fix pretty much any problem on a computer.
Yeah.
But then somebody asks like, hey, what is HTTPS mean? I'm like, hell if I know. It's that thing that I don't put in front of URLs because you don't need them anymore. Yeah, that's what it means.
When you have to actually write out a full like a website page or whatever, I don't know what I'm like. Is it double slash this way?
Which way do the slashes go?
Is it first? Nobody knows how to do it anymore. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I have no clue. I don't know. So anyway, so funny.
Okay, next year is
95?
you. When I was like 95.
I could babysit you. Yep.
Yeah. So you were
Which I do now.
graduating high school
Yep.
in 95. So in 95, this is lovely information. The HIV protease inhibitors came out. The outlook for people infected by HIV also dramatically changes. The FDA approves Invirase to the first of a class of drugs called HIV protease inhibitors in 1995 by blocking the function of enzymes used in the virus's replication. The inhibitors can reduce HIV to undetectable levels for sustained periods in up to 90% of patients. This, I don't know this for sure, but I would imagine that like Magic Johnson, like
yes,
probably use because he's had HIV. He had to stop playing in the NBA back then, and he still has HIV and not AIDS. So
that was a game changer because I know you weren't like really alive, but AIDS was a big thing. I mean, HIV was it took over the world, like what you're seeing now. It was crazy and. People didn't know, like there was a kid named Ryan White, and there was a big thing about Ryan White's story that used to play and all this kind of stuff about how he was completely ostracized because people thought, I'm going to get HIV, I'm going to die because I know you. Now we know that that's not true. Now we understand this virus and stuff. So same with Magic Johnson. It was a big deal. It's kind of like what you're seeing right now. So that I could see where that was a game changer 100%. So nice. Way to go, 95.
So not too much impact on your life, I'm guessing. But on
not that I know of.
Yeah. Okay, so sadly enough,
when I got married,
you are also next. I'm still a baby.
2000?
Really?
I got married in 2000.
I
had a baby in 2003, so
I took my first flight on January 1st, 2000. I think I've told you that before.
Oh, that's cute.
Like people were standing. No, it wasn't. People were standing outside, like, "Don't get on the plane! It's going to explode in midair."
Oh, right.
I was like,
that was the whole Y2K.
Daddy, why are we doing this? Okay, the year 2000.
June 2000. Yeah.
So you were graduating college and getting married.
I got married June 2000. Yeah, I graduated May 2000.
It's so long ago. I was 11.
Yeah, 21 years.
In the grand scheme of things, there's a PlayStation 2, the highest selling video game console of all time.
Really?
In the grand scheme of things, video games aren't necessarily important inventions. How dare you, article? But they're fun. While many consoles have made the list, Sony's PlayStation 2 harnessed an era of emerging tech to create a console that would solidify the company as a gaming behemoth, a title it retains to this day. Like, it is still the highest selling console of all time. Do you remember? Like, you were getting married in college. Like, do you remember the PlayStation 2?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, my gosh. We used to play stuff all the time. I mean, we all had, all the things. Yeah.
Did you get an updated version of that first game you played on the Mac?
I never had a Well, I had an Apple IIc. I never
what was that game called that you said
Macintosh.
earlier? The stupid game you mentioned earlier.
I did. Oh yeah. No, they didn't. They didn't have it. I went to school. Like, funny enough, Taylor, I don't know if you'll even remember this, but there was a computer company called Hewlett Packard or HP, but it was Compaq Computers when I was like growing up. And so the 5 founders of Compaq lived in my neighborhood here in Houston. And I had a Compaq Presario, which I brought to college, and it was an all-in-one. Like, it was like your screen and your everything. And it was just which was really convenient for college, because that was before laptops.
It was like a Game Boy on steroids, a portable device. It's huge.
It was big. Yeah. It was like crazy. So, anyway, but this is so crazy to like think of all this stuff.
Right. Okay.
But we had a PlayStation. I didn't ever have a PlayStation in college, and my brothers didn't get one until later, or they might have had it when I was gone. I'm so much older than my brothers, so they probably had one while I was at school. I don't know, but friends in college had it. Yeah.
All right. We're done with you by this time. So for me, graduating high school was 2008. So I got to scroll all the way down here. I don't get this one. Something about a collider, a large hadron collider. It has something to do with the Big Bang Theory and something called a God particle.
Space.
Yeah, it's too smart for me. So I'm going to read the one from 2007, the year before.
Okay.
The iPhone came out. The iPhone came
nice.
out the year. It was probably I think it was the summer of going into my senior year. So not quite my graduation year, but
sure.
I mean, I'm literally on one right now. So if anybody knows what a large hadron collider is and are mad that I didn't talk about it, well, you came to the wrong show. Okay,
that's hilarious.
To close it out, the year that I got married and graduated college.
You did the same year?
Yeah,
married
I did.
and graduation.
Graduated in May and got married in June of 2012.
Okay. There you go.
Google's machine learning project. So before I mention it, you know what this does, but you might not know it by that name. Do you have any idea any guess on what Google's machine learning
Google?
project? Yeah, Google's machine learning project.
Oh.
Not Google itself. It's 2012.
Oh.
Google's been around a while.
Google.
I know how to Google. Okay, here we go. The New York
Ask
Times
Jeeves.
reports that. Oh gosh, geez, what a throwback.
Throwback.
As part of Google's deep learning research, a cluster of 16,000 computers had taught itself to recognize a cat. So these computers could look at a cat, and they could sit. These computers were able to learn and say that is a cat, which doesn't seem like a big deal. But these advances arguably pushed the tech industry into a more serious pursuit of artificial intelligence and machine learning projects, including self-driving car technology, which we now have, facial recognition software, literally how I open my iPhone. Automatic tagging on Facebook, like Facebook knows what you look like, and technology that'll help voice assistants like Alexa get smarter over time. So like Siri gets to know your voice and how you talk. Like it's funny for me, like talking to Siri with, like I have a more southern accent than, it's not super deep, but Siri doesn't know what it is because Siri's from China and California. So what does she know? But she learns over time. Like, y'all come back now, you hear? And she's like, first time she's like, what? And now she's like, you don't right, Skipper Taylor. Like that's, she learns. So big deal, kind of scary deal, but still a big deal.
And it's something we use all the time, and now we're all used to it, which is they've adapted us as well. Wait, can I ask one question? What about this year? Did they list 2021?
I don't believe so. Let me see.
Okay, I was just curious.
I don't think it goes to. Let's see. Where does it go? It goes to 2018. No, wait. It goes to 2019. 2018 is funny. It's metal 3D printing, which I was going to mention earlier because when we were talking about the floppy disk, there was a kid. It was a meme I think last year where somebody was a high school kid was so impressed that somebody 3D printed the save icon and it was just a floppy disk.
That's hilarious.
Okay, we've got
That's
one more
funny.
as a surprise for you. We're going to get through this one a little bit quicker, but in the same vein, like literally, I saw these two articles back to back. This one is the most popular slang the year that you were born.
Ooh.
So the year that you were born, like this one
77?
goes all the way back. So remind me your birth year again.
77.
77.
Star Wars.
That's 1961.
May the force be with you. Is that it?
And with your spirit. Okay. 1977. Brewski.
Brewski?
Like for a beer. Have me one of your
I know what a
brewskis.
brewski is.
Well, I mean for the sports fans, like not Teddy Brewski. Like he was probably just bored.
I thought, that's interesting. Okay, cool. What
Okay,
about
let's do the same thing. High school, and college.
95.
So,
my bad. I would say my bad for 95.
Oh, let's see. 95. As if I feel like that is your aesthetic for sure.
As if.
Clueless, the movie Clueless introduced as if into the vocab.
Big deal.
And then for me, 1989. Oh yeah, we forgot about me, the year I was born.
Okay.
1989. Where is it at? This one's perfect. You want to talk about something that fits perfectly?
Okay.
Trash talk was the most popular term used in 1989.
Really?
The phrase jumped into the world of sports in 1990. Gary Payton, the Mozart of trash talking, would be drafted by the Seattle Supersonics. This year is also when bogus dotted our vocabulary too. But I think it's so funny because like trash talk is one of
trash talk.
I mean, it was a sports thing, and I talked a lot of trash when I played sports, and I got a lot of technical fouls and maybe kicked out of some games. But that's a whole other thing. But I do like that one connects a lot.
Yo, that's totally you. All right, 2000 and 2007? 2008. 2008, and I'm 2000. Yeah, what is 2000?
You're 2000?
Yeah, for marriage and college.
Oh, you know what it is?
What?
I'll give you a hint. The most popular commercial of this year. One of the most popular commercials ever.
Of this year?
Of 2000. One of the most popular
Taylor.
commercials of all time.
Oh, for the love. I haven't watched a commercial.
What's up?
What do you do?
I know. Literally, this commercial has embedded it to myself. I was such an impressionable 10 or 11-year-old that we start the show with the most popular word from 2000.
Is that where you got it from?
No, but because I grew up, like, I mean, if it was most popular in 2000, like I was 11, like
it makes sense.
Junior high and high school is when you start, like, those are the hip terms everybody uses.
Yeah.
Like, I don't use, the stuff that kids say now. I'm not even gonna try
Spill
to
the
say
tea. Yeah, you don't say that.
No, spilling tea is a bad thing in my house. Not because it's gossip, because I love sweet tea and it's a sacred juice in our house. All right. And then for you, what'd you say? What was your other year?
Yours. That's your year. 08. 2008.
I don't even think it goes to that. Let's see.
Oh.
It doesn't. But the last year that we get is 2005. So when I started high school.
Okay.
Fashizzle and fasheezy. And if you want to picture Taylor at this age.
Oh my gosh. Did you say that?
Very white guy walking around. Fashizzle.
You did not. You did not say that.
But what's so funny is something that I still say, probably from this, is like, oh, for sure. Like that's something I say all the time.
You do not.
I do. And I think it's still I whiteified Snoop Dogg to make
that
it
is really
in my
funny.
Vernacular a little bit better.
I had no idea. I say situation all the time.
Situation.
That's a word I say constantly.
Well, good.
But I go through rounds.
We were able to look back on our lives. We're hoping that, as you listen to this, you're able to look back on your year. Next week, we're going to do a retrospective on Forte Catholic's year in review. We always do that at the first show of the new year. So we hope that all of you have enjoyed today's show. We hope that you have enjoyed this 2021 as much as you can. And nobody's saying anything about 2022. We're just all going to go in very timidly and hope, have some hope. Let's have some hope without declaring anything. I do declare, Siri, do you understand me? All right, I'm Taylor Schroll. That's Acidonia or whatever her name is. What's your name? Acidonia.
I don't know.
Anhedonia. The lovely Anhedonia Harrison. I'll be back next week. Say it. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening, not only to today's episode, but throughout the year. Thanks for rocking with us. It was a fun year indeed. Next year, Father Anthony and I will be doing our Forte Catholic year in review, so you are going to want to stick around for that. If you want to make sure that you don't miss it, hit subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts or on YouTube. We've also got another video coming out on our YouTube channel this week. Allison Sullivan and I do a deep dive into The Morning Show. It's a hit TV show over on Apple Plus that we watched. We talked about the first season where they are tackling the Me Too movement. So her and I got into a pretty deep dive discussion about that. That is only on our YouTube channel, fortecatholic.com/YouTube. Hit subscribe. You guys rock. Enjoy your New Year's Eve, your New Year's Day, and we'll be back next week for our first episode of the year with Father Anthony Sciarappa. Peace, y'all.